today is the first day of August, which means it is wrap-up time. I have a lot of books to talk about. Sorry about the angle, about the quality. I know this is blurry. This is my cell phone, okay? Because I gave the video camera back to Raven. So, sorry. Alright, so let's just get to this because I have a lot. So, starting back at the end of June, I had to pre-film my video. So, I had 14. I said in video on text that I finished Batgirl 1. Then I read Siege at Blue Mountain and its sequel, which I don't own, but I read it online. Link is down below. The Secret of Two Edge by Wendy and Richard Pini, which is ElfQuest. This is 5, and that is 6. So I read those both. I also managed to finish start and finish Quidditch Through the Ages, and The Spinner's Gift by Radley and Paige Miglio. So for the month of June, I actually read 19 books in total. I read these as well as what I stated in video. So for July, before #Yearathon started for that month, I read Batgirl Volume 2, Nightfall Descends by Gail Simon, Ardian Syaf, Ed Beans, and Vincent Cifuentes. Links to all the books I mentioned down below. All the dibbly-doo is going to be huge. Sorry, y'all, I put those links in. So I finished that. I started #Yearathon by reading the last little bit of The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I read Batgirl, Death of the Family, that's Volume 3, by Gail Simon and Daniel Sampier, and most of The Two Towers. During Booktubeathon, I read the rest of The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien, Nightwing, Volume 3, Death of the Family, by Kyle Higgins, Eddie Barrows, and Andres Gillinaldo. I know I'm saying those names wrong. I am sorry. I also read Trickster's Choice by Tamora Pierce, California Diaries No. 2, Sunny Journal 1 by Ann M. Martin, Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lanny Taylor, and that's all I managed to read during Booktubeathon. Link to that wrap-up and #Yearathon are down below. After that, I took a breather. I read Kings of the Broken Wheel, all of it. I don't know how many books that is. I don't know if that's just one book or multiple books by Wendy and Richard Pini. I read it online. Oh my gosh, Kings of the Broken Wheel is so sad. It's so sad. Y'all need to read that comic. It's so good. She just, like, rips my heart out. There's this point where Cutter... The point of Kings of the Broken Wheel is... And this is kind of spoilerific, but whatever. Cutter loses his family. His brother, his wife, and his 2 kids are gone. And he may never see them again. And he and his tribe are stranded on the other side of the continent. The other side of the known world. They've never traveled that far before. They're in the middle of nowhere. They have no way to reach anybody else. They have no healer, which was his wife. They have no healer. So if anyone gets sick or injured, they can't do anything about it. He tries to get his tribe settled. First, they decide where they're going to live, how they're going to live. They get the houses set up. They get food set up. They get rules set up. Everyone's noticed Cutter doesn't choose a house. Cutter hasn't gotten any food. Cutter hasn't done anything. He's just making sure everyone's taken care of. And everyone is taken care of. And then they realize Cutter is all alone. And he's curled up into a ball. And because it's a manga, not a manga, it's a comic like this, it's kind of hard to tell movement sometimes, and you realize he's sobbing. He is shaking with silent sobs. And so someone who's like his sister, his brother's not his brother by blood, they're brothers in all but blood, that's the actual term they use. But she, if anything, she would be his best friend. Nightfall puts her arms around him, and her life mate, her husband, Red Lance, is on the other side, and they go, and they're like, you're going to live with us, because he is at the end of his rope. And it's just beautiful, beautiful. Kings of the Broken Wheel has the most emotion out of all of ElfQuest. And I read it for like the 4th or 5th time, and I still teared up watching Cutter deal with that loss. So heartbreaking. Oh my goodness. So sad. And then I finished Trickster's Queen, sequel to Trickster's Choice by Tamora Pierce, which I don't have. I borrowed it from Raven. And then after that, I read this. I found it at the library. I picked it up. This is Volume 3 of 4 of Star Wars Return of the Jedi manga by Shinichi Hiromoto. This is all the library has. This is all there is. I'm not going to be able to read anything else. I managed to read this, and it was interesting. It's just that they use this same shot over and over again. Like 4 or 5 times they use this close-up right there. They use this close-up of Luke. And his hair is it's actually really calm on the cover, because his hair isn't that calm in the manga. He is an anime dude. It's a little weird. Then after that, I read, sorry, I had to flip my notes. I read William Shakespeare's Star Wars, Verily, A New Hope by Ian Dosher. In case you can't tell, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I had nothing bad to say. I will be doing a video about this on the regular camera. That will come eventually. I post a review every Friday. So look for that in the future. So yeah, that will be coming. Then I read Bruce Wayne, The Road Home by Various. There are no names on the title, and there's like 30 people that worked on it, so it's called By Various. This is the Batman comic in between when Batman gets back from the dead, and yes, this is spoilerific for anyone, I guess, but it's Batman, it always is. Back from the dead and before Batman Incorporated. This is not the New 52, this is just before the New 52 happened. This was a really cool read. I remember I went from when he comes back from the dead directly to Batman Incorporated 1, and I thought there was something missing, and it's this. And this kind of fills that gap and is like, oh, okay, and it sets you up to read the New 52. So, for all y'all who don't know, you read the special, the Justice League special, the title's on the screen, then you read Battle for the Cow, Batman and Robin, which is Dick and Damian, and then Batman coming back, and then this. Okay? And then you can move into Batman Incorporated, and then the New 52 happens, and that's the end of everything. And then I also read, of the New 52, Batman and Robin Volume 2, Pearl, by Peter J. Tomasi, Patrick Gleason, and Mick Gray. I did love this. I liked it better than I liked Batman and Robin #1, and I don't know exactly what the spoiler is of Death of the Family, but I can see things setting up for this. That's the last that I have on me, but I also read Hikaru no Go Volume 13 by Hota Yumi and Obata Takashi. And it's either that or it's Yumi Hota and Takashi Obata. I read it online, link down below. And then I read Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist Volume 5 by person. The name's on the screen. I'm sorry, I don't know. I read that online, and I didn't write down the name. Sorry. But I managed to read that. I am still reading, and it's in my purse and I'm too lazy to go get it. I am still reading The Return of the King by J.R. Tolkien, and I've started and come close to finishing Days of Blood and Starlight by Lanny Taylor. And you can tell I have a lot to talk about. There will be a video for this. And I also started and gave up on Ruby Red by Kirsten Greer. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. No, done. Sorry, but no, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't find myself enjoying it. I do think the time travel thing's really cool, but I didn't enjoy that. So, for my July TBR, I'm going to try to finish The Return of the King by J.R. Tolkien, Days of Blood and Starlight by Lanny Taylor, Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Lanny Taylor. Of course. I already knew a lot about this because, again, I didn't want to read this series when I first heard of it, but I loved Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I loved Daughter of Smoke and Bone. This has not won me over, but I was aware of a lot that's going on. Raven warned me about some things, LA Knight. I'm not going to talk about too much because, again, I'm not done, but I can't wait to get to this. I hope this is so much better than this one was, because to be honest, I'm a little let down, and I want to see how this concludes. I like this. I'm sucked into it. I can't help it. Can you tell? I'm tagging the crap out of this thing. I also plan on reading The Enchanted Heir by Cinda Williams Kaima. I just can't wait to read this. Ha! I'm dying. I wanted to get through Ruby Red so I could get to this, because it's been sitting on my shelf, and I don't know how long I can keep it because it's from the library. Those are from Raven, but this is from the library. This is exciting. I read the little blurby that is online on Goodreads, so I can't wait to pick this up. I can't wait to get re-immersed in the Air Chronicles. I did reread the first 3 books earlier this year, and I had so much that I wanted to read, and there was Divergent, and then the Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and so many other things going on, and Batman. So I want to, I can't wait. I can't wait. From my own shelf, I will be reading A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I was going to read this during Booktubeathon and gave up on it. I was going to read this, I don't know if this was in my June TBR. I don't remember if it was, but I am going to read this. I own it. I got it from the library for 30 cents. I already have a bookmark in it. I doubt you can tell, but I do. I want to get through this. I'm on page 2. I want to read this. Sounds really intriguing. This actually intrigues me more than Ruby Red. But if I don't like it, I don't like it, and then I can give it to... I'll probably give it to Raven because she has it in paperback, and this is hardback. And the last book I'm planning on reading, but I don't... This is another maybe... is The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashares. Again, never read this. LA Knight thinks I should read it. She thought I should read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and she was right. So I'm going to pick this up and read it. I need to get this read. It's been at my house for like 6 months, and I haven't read it yet. And she doesn't mind because every time she reads, she buys a bunch of books and has to reorganize her shelves. I go over and I give it back, and then I take it back. And she's like, no, take it. And I'm like, okay. So I will eventually read this. I hope I will like that. Other than that, what else am I going to read? I'm going to read whatever is next in ElfQuest. It's Dreamtime. I'm going to read Dreamtime by Wendy and Richard Pini, which is next in ElfQuest. That actually took place during Kings of the Broken Wheel. And then I'm also going to continue with Hikaru no Go, Volume 14, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist Volume 6, because I still read on my manga online. I'm also going to be getting Batman Volume 3, Death of the Family, Batman and Robin Volume 3, Death of the Family. I'm hoping to also start Batwing, which is Batman of Africa, which is really cool. I was like, who is this dude? I want to know who this guy is. I know nothing about him. I know nothing about him because he's brand new. And then I'm dying to pick up Red Hood and the Outlaws, Volumes 1, 2, and 3. And we'll just continue from there. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I am also going to be releasing later today, or tomorrow, I'm going to be doing my hashtag a yearathon TBR, so look for that. Alright, love you guys. Bye! Hey guys, it's Lore! I always do that. Let's try a different thing. Sup, yo? That's so dumb. The Spinner's Gift. Gail Radley Page Miglio. I don't know who that is. But so I read these. You can't see that. Alright. I did enjoy it. I did love it. I'm going to post a review. I just repeated myself. I can see how. So yeah, I'm excited to read. I thought it was gonna burn. Guess not.